Do you remember back around 2018 when the best that the so-called conservatives could do to combat the social justice heresy trend was to say, oh, that's off mission. That's a distraction from the gospel. Do you remember that? Here's the problem with that kind of reasoning. What the social justice heretics are claiming is not something that's true but less important. It's something that's false. And if the best intellectual leaders that you have don't know how to say that, then your movement will not succeed. In the years since 2018, when the statement on social justice in the gospel came out, people have begun to understand this point, but I still think that the point has not yet settled home in the hearts of many conservative Christian leaders. You cannot talk about the social justice and the woke movement as if it is simply a distraction or a secondary concern. Justice ought not be a secondary concern in the Christian life. I mean, I suppose if you were going to make a list of what are the top priorities for a Christian, honoring God would have to be at the top. The gospel would have to be related to that. But are you going to really say that seeking justice and obeying God is not connected with those things? He has shown thee, O man, what is good and what the Lord requires of thee, but to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with thy God. Micah 6:8. So we should do justly. We should love mercy. And if you don't know what mercy is, and if you don't know what justice is, and if you cannot explain those and correct the errors, then what's going to happen is someone like Timothy Keller is going to come along and look at your statement on social justice in the gospel and say, see, the problem is we need to do a little speech act theory on that. The problem is that these guys, although they never said it in their statement that they all signed, their problem is that what they really want is to tell you that taking care of the poor people is not a big deal. You could look up the video of Timothy Keller saying this. He was caught on camera teaching this to a group of impressionable goons, the Marxist goon squad that he leads. You need to know what kind of people you are fighting against. You need to be as wise as a serpent while being as innocent as a dove. And I think that most of our Southern Baptist thought leaders and Reformed thought leaders are neither innocent nor wise. I think they're opportunistic. And I think they're intellectually incompetent. I mean, I was saying that in 2018, 2019. I don't know what it's going to take to convince people that this is true, but you have to call out the snakes in the church. And if you're a conservative leader and you're not even calling out the snakes, but instead you're inviting them to your church to speak, you've got a real problem. I don't know what to say. I mean, you probably know the names that I'm thinking of, and the names are not even that big of a deal at this point. Everybody knows the names. Is the social justice heresy a heresy? Or is it merely a distraction? Gladly, lately, because of the overstep of the government in trying to make us all slaves, it's become more apparent that pietism is not an appropriate response. Quietism and pietism, look them up. They're important concepts. Now it's time to repent of pietism. It's not easy to say that, because there are some people that I respect and that because of their influence, my life is better, but I still have to say you've been wrong about this, and you've never repented of it. Someone's going to watch this video and they're going to say, oh yeah, Cody, you're just trying to grow your audience by poking and criticizing and finding fault in the people that are the most important, best leaders that we have, that God has given us. Touch not the Lord's anointed, or whatever they want to say. I don't respect you for saying that. You need to be a man in your mind. And the moment that you say to me, we're not going to criticize this man because of who he is and has been in the past, that's the moment you say, I'm not going to be a man.